And today we're continuing on with the project we've been up to, working on some typesetting as part of a Desert Bus craft along project. So we're close in on the deadline of that, by which I mean we're probably actually a little bit late on the deadline, but this stuff is optional, and so we're just going to see what additional cool stuff we can get done before this thing goes in the mail in another couple of days. Thankfully, we have the advantage that the crafter lives extremely close to the place it needs to be shipped to, so it it isn't going to take long to get there in the mail, which is good because we don't want to make them angry. All right, so we got the files up from last time. We got the Airtable. We got the other thing. We got, let's make me smaller in the corner. There we go. We got me small in the corner. And what we've got now is, let's go ahead and get OmniGraffle running. OmniGraffle. Come on, OmniGraffle. You can do it. You can Omni my Graffle. OmniGraffle, have you like opened up in a different monitor or something again? You have. That's why I don't see you. Let's put you on the monitor. There we are. It's an OmniGraffle. So, yesterday we were working on some Fiasco cards, and I continued work on that a bit after stream, and I'm incredibly happy with what happened. So let's go ahead and get those open. Open recent Fiasco. So now the thing about Fiasco is the cards all sit at the intersection of characters because because Fiasco is a game about character relationships and the things between them. So we needed to put things together so that they linked the characters, and we decided what we were going to do is actually have the cards be printed so that they would overlap with each other. You could put them together physically to make a little ring that connects the characters around the table. And this is that ring. You can kind of see the outlines of the cards here. So we got everything we needed for most of the characters on here. Two of the we've also got here is a tilt table. So the tilt table is used in Fiasco to kind of manage. There's a chunk of the game where everything goes wrong and things change, and that's the tilt. And the tilt table is kind of used to help decide what's going to happen at the tilt. So there's kind of this wild outcome diversion thing, and you roll one die to figure out the section, and then you roll another die to figure out which thing in the section happens. And so we couldn't fit all that on one card, but we fit that across all six. So we've got a full tilt table here for this playset put in here. All this work was this is all Iris of Aether's work, and creating the actual stuff here. I'm basically editing Iris for this part, but I'm not really writing. So I'm just typesetting, which is fun. And so what I just want to do now is we've got on those characters, we have two characters that each need to take up, since the tilt table has 6 sections, 2 characters each get a double section, but 2 characters only get a single section. And for the ones that got a single section, we've also got a quote. So what I want to do is figure out how we want to present those quotes. And I took a little bit of time, typeset this, we put it all on, a tabletop, added just a little bit of drop shadow. Everything is just kind of looking like sort of abstractly chunks of paper. So what I want to do now is figure out how I want to put quotes in on this. Well, let's go grab QLM's quote, questionably legal man. So what I probably want to do is go grab, let's file, let's open recent, let's go grab those card backs again. Hey, card backs. Come on, card backs. There's my card backs, cool. Okay, so I want to see how we did some other quotes on some of these, because let's take a look at the, yeah. All right, so we kind of got this typography here. It always kind of fits in with the style of what we're doing. So for Fiasco, we're using 3 types. We've got Hitchcock for the Fiasco font for titling. We're actually using the same serif that we used on Vampire because it's nice, it's elegant, and Fiasco is set in serifs. And then we're using, for these things that are kind of in theory handwritten, we've ended up using Comic Noia again because I actually like Comic Noia. It's good at what it does. And yeah. So what we've got here, and we've got two versions of the artboards here, actually, by the way. These are the artboards. This is where the cards will theoretically be cut, but of course they have some margin on them. This area here is the safe. If we look at that, these new black lines, these are the safe regions on each card. So whatever's on those is what's guaranteed to get printed on that card. So you can see we kind of took it apart a little so that things can get a little more out, and everything's got the border. I'm going to be doing this for more of the cards to try to create a little bit better feel with that, using the full bleed, because the fronts we didn't want a full bleed on because we wanted to be extremely certain of where the art would be cropped. But on the backs, we can play a little more with that because, you know, it's I've got full control of the type on the backs. So with all that said, let's go ahead and find something. So we've actually crammed everything into one group for content. This was a trick because everything's got weird rotations and things, and objects rotate, or objects shadow relative to themselves. And I wanted to put a drop shadow on everything. So by putting it all in a group and putting a drop shadow on the group, everything is shadowing in a uniform direction, which is important since things are rotated all kinds of ways. Also, hello Iris, welcome back. Just working on getting those quotes in here. I love the way this looks. Like I'm just loving the way the overlaps work here. Even with a little bit of miscut, there should be enough room that hopefully the two across from each other will never quite touch. I gave just a tiny bit of border between them, but they've all got plenty of room to do their things. Yeah, this one really did clean up well. This is kind of the standard I'm hoping to get all of them to, but we'll see how it goes. All right. So,
yeah, I feel like we are definitely in the stage of get everything to first pass before we go deep on too many of them.
Yup, this one just required some deep to even work at all. So, all right, let's grab this group. Now, what I want to do, oh, not the artboard. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hide our artboards for a moment. Actually, we're gonna lock our artboards for a moment. We're going to, yeah, hidden the 4 cards. So we got our content group, and I'm going to unlock that. What I need to find is we need to find this tilt table right here inside the content group. Okay, that's this one. So I'm going to pull this out of the main group because I did notice something I didn't like with its typography once I saw it flipped up correctly. I'm just going to pop that up to here. We're going to grab this group that is now hanging out on its own. We're going to spin it so that it's back at 0. And let's pop in. And I'm also going to hide the background because the computer does a lot of work to render it, which makes everything go slower. We'll put that back when we're ready to typeset a bit. So for this group now, we got some stuff in here. We got this rectangle, which I just want to take this rectangle and we're going to do that. I think this is all I need because the tilt is, yeah, it's hugging the rectangle, but I want to just get a little bit of space there between the tilt and the header. I might not have needed to flip that to do this. Well, that's fine. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to respin this group. So, not canvas, excuse me. Oh, not that. I'm just going to hide that so I don't accidentally click into it. I'm going to close that because I don't need an empty one. And now we've only got the one omnigraphal visible. And I'm going to go ahead and spin us this object. Oh yes, the fancy paper for printing. That is an important thing to have. All right. Oh yeah, moving issues. There we are. So we've redone that, and I think we're just going to scooch the tilt table a little bit away from Satan's nameplate because, you know. Now, the other thing I think I want to do, because we have space to do it, is if I go in and grab Satan's nameplate. I mean, also, Satan's nameplate feels like it should be like a folksy thing for something. I don't know what, but yeah. I kind of want to minimize, where possible, the extent to which other people's nameplates appear, or with too much of anybody's nameplate appears on someone else's card, but I don't think that's actually gonna... Nah, I think we can do it with Satan because he has such a small name, but... Okay, let's put this group back into the other group now. Right like that. Right back where it was. Okay, so now that is now, again, part of the main group. And now all we need to do is add our last 2 bits of content, which are going to be those quotes. So we got our content layer up. Let's start with QLM. Click out of that group so I'm not in it. And we'll grab ourselves, as usual, a rectangle. Okay. We've got a rectangle. Now, let's do some things. First of all, for a quote like, hmm, I'm trying to if this is something that would be kind of jotted down on the table at a fiasco game, something that somebody would have written down. Um, let's see. So first up, let's go ahead and give this a quick fill in white, and let's you know, we've been using for written things, we've been using Comic Noia. Let's see what that looks like if we jump into Comic Noia again. Font, not Helvetica Noia. You don't see any canvas fonts here. That's interesting, but all fonts, we need some Comic Noia. All right, and all right, that is much too big. Let's do like Comic Noia 8 point. Yeah. All right. With the powers to bend the rules a smidge to help citizens. I can spell citizens. To help citizens in need. All right. Yeah, what is the size on this here? When I go look, because I think just checking out the sizing on one of the other uses of Comic Noia. Comic Noia 8. Okay, cool. So if we jump back over here, Comic Noia regular light might actually be pretty good. What italicize it? Don't like the italics. But I do think light is going to work here pretty well. Now, what I kind of want to do is make this a little bit. It's going to look like something that's sort of sitting on that table. So, and we also need to get this thing we need to give this thing an attribution. So bring that down just a little. And let's go ahead. We'll construct a new text element using Comic Noia, light, and just, that is too big. Come on. Comic Noia, you're going to be like 8 point. There we go. So I'm going to take a quick look here. This is from the sketch, Questionably Legal Men. We've been generally attributing quotes to the character that speaks them. So I'm just going to go quickly find that quote. Questionably Legal Man, LRR. Here we go. Here's our Questionably Legal Man. It's a sketch from January 2012. Wow, that is... It's amazing how much they have done. So we go get we look at that here. Summary: Questionably Legal Man has the power to bend the rules a smidge to help citizens in need. All right. So let's see. So we've got. We don't actually have a. I don't actually see a link to this to that bit, but let me also just check here. We're going to see if we have some Questionably Legal Man script. There's a link to the Airtable. He also shows up in Loading Ready Rumble 2. That makes sense that all these characters show up in Loading Ready Rumble 2. So what I am trying to find is if questionably legal man actually said that line about his own powers. All right. Um, we've got our questionably legal man there. Okay. Honestly, I think given that he is from the sketch of the same name, I think I'm just going to credit it to questionably legal man. Assuming that, and yeah, there is a link in the Airtable, so I can go find that bit. Of course, folks who aren't me won't be able to hear it, but I'm going to at least briefly check this. Hey, questionably legal man, where are you? There you are, row 8. So let's go ahead and open up this record. Expand record. The quote is right at the beginning, Carrie says, so here we go. Show me the hidden fields, notes, thing, source bits. Here we go. Link into the source bit, link into the YouTube. This may be a bit choppy since it's coming through 2 codecs, but take a moment to load. Wow, that is being kind of super jank, and I'm not hearing it. Oh, of course I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it because I'm listening to the streaming system, and that audio is coming from another system. So, we are going to do something even fancier than usual. We're going into double headset mode. I got my other headset, which we're going to plug in so we don't have a giant mess. We're going to... This is part of why studio headphones have that weird little loopty thing that they can do, where you can take the cup of them and turn it so that you can do something like this. And now, with my other set of headphones on, listening to my other audio source. Here we go.
Go deep.
It's questionably legal man, with the powers to bend the rules a smidge to help citizens in need. Okay, that is literally the opening narration, and it's in Graham's voice, and Graham is questionably legal man. So, I think we are going to just attribute this to questionably legal man. And now, let's go ahead and give that a slightly longer dash. We've got this here. We've got this here. And if that looks like this, I actually think I can't use light there because I need something that's going to let me counterbalance a little bit lighter for the attribution. So, okay, here we are. We're going to pin that to the right. We're going to hang on to all this. And now we're going to grab this little double thing right here. And we're going to make a copy of it because we have another quote we need to do. All right, back to the quotes. That was questionably legal man, but we also need to go to Satan. All right. Those were good times. Oh, and it fits on one line. Beautiful. We're going to credit this to Satan. And I think we've been using a comma. Let's check my formatting. Yep. Long dash, name, comma, italicized name of bit. Hang on, that's 2 of those. Is that seriously just one? No, I'm double spacing somehow. There we are. That's Satan from the Loading Ready Rumble 2. Talking about the 1200s or 1500s. You know, I mean, there are lots of good times for the devil. Now we're just going to group these. We're also going to group these two. And now we've got another pair of these lovely little groups that aren't currently part of the main content thing. But before we do that, we've got this rectangle, and I'm going to scooch it in just a little, like that. Yeah. And then we're going to take this one, which I think needs less scooching. We're going to give it the flipsies. Oh, no, don't rotate the text. Don't rotate the text. Rotate just the geometry. There we are. Now we're going to take this and drag it on up. Come on. Drag it all the way on up. Oh, the Demon Coins and Goetic Tarot got lost during your move? Oh no, Carrie. That does not sound pleasant, because those were really cool. All right, so now again, I don't want the only thing in any card that's being allowed to be. Oh, you found it! You found it! Excellent. In the Rock Band, of course. Okay. So yeah, the only things in this project, by the way, that I'm on these cards I'm allowing to be correctly, because part of everything's a little askew in Fiasco. So everything I am just messing up its angling by 1 or 2 or sometimes 2.5 degrees. Yeah, yeah, it's that time. Hang on, 357.5? No, not 157.5. 357.5. There we go. Of course, yes, because that's how I saw it, and that's how I know it's cool. Was I saw it at that time that you brought it to Rock Band at my place. Yeah. All right, now we're going to take this one. We're going to. Oh, nope, that's the text again. I don't want to mess with the text. I'm going to do this. Yeah. You know, in fact, 179.75. No, 179.75. Just the tiniest bit of skew. Just enough that if you look at those lines, you'll see they aren't quite properly parallel. Okay. And, you know, actually that might not be enough skew. It might take a degree of skew to be particularly noticeable. Yeah, they were 178.8. All right. So now we've got all of that. Now we just take these two groups and we need to install them in the big group so that they participate in the shadow. Technical term. Okay. They're in the big group now. Actually, I wonder if I actually need to reapply the shadow in order to. Yeah, I think I need to reapply the shadow. Okay, fine. Shadow. Everything gets the shadow below layer. Now they've all got the same shadow again. Oh, maybe they don't. 1. So I believe this was, yeah, minus 1/128th, I believe. Close enough. And plus 1. Oh no, it was minus 1/256 plus 1/251. Oops. Oh, plus 1 inch. Yeah, no. Minus 1/256. And then down by 1/128th. And there's the shadows of everything below the layer. Looks good. Looks good. Looking good. There's all our cards, reasonably full. Questionably Legal Man's probably the only one that has a little bit too much space. And to do that, what I'm just going to do here, because Questionably Legal Man is a little bit cramming into the space. So let's bring the quote a bit further down. Then we'll take the entire box of tilt table and bring that down a bit. Come on, scoochy, scoochy. And stop scooching. You scooched too far. Over scooched. Don't scooch so much. Don't scooch so close to. Yeah. All right. And here we go with questionably legal man now coming down into here. And that actually gives me a little bit of space to play with some of these others. Let's go ahead. We're going to turn on the safe regions again. Show me my safe regions so that I don't mess them up. Now, yeah, what I can do here is I actually have some room if we take Ashley's card and do this just a bit. I want to take it basically down. Yeah, about as close as I can get it to there. Because what I'm going to do is we're going to take this Rivals and we're going to hug the border of the safe region. Because I want to reduce the amount that these look totally stacked. One of the Lure Destiny 2 Guilds clans is definitely a legal clan. I mean, it makes sense. All right, so here we go. Now we've got this object here, and what we can do with this is we're going to take this thing again down a bunch, because we've actually got some space to play. Now that we've taken questionably legal man's name and moved it down just a little. So, yeah. And my goal here is just to, again, make this all feel a little bit more like an organic table without getting anything into cut regions that don't work. And everything is sort of bent like that to help cue what card it is meant to interrelate to. And I think what I could probably do here is even take this rotation. Yeah, 3 or 1. Oh, right, yeah, it's zeroed relative to that. So yeah, just kind of take that rotation a few more notches. Take this object, continue to scooch it down a little like this. And just help really emphasize what we're seeing. So yeah, the hero sidekick appears almost entirely on Definitely a Legal Boy, but also is, of course, on Questionably Legal Man. And yeah, we can take this manipulator victim and we can also just kind of bring that up toward the border. This is a bit of fine tuning because these cards, I'm planning to do kind of a pretty final export on these in a moment because getting them into the same file with the others is a pain. Now, I'm okay having part of the border, I think, of these relationship cards be outside of the safe area, especially because we'll only lose it on one card. It's emphatically within the card region for Satan's card. Manipulator victim, and then need to commit, enable as much crime as possible. And if we just take this and scooch it a little more like that. All right, so there's that stuff. These cards are now all reasonably skewed in different ways. Everything looks pretty good. And here we go. I think we are ready for what is likely going to be... Oh, that is not fully within the safe zone. Let me check if this one is also... actually, that's okay. We're only... Well, I don't really want to lose the edges of those. So let's bring this back up the teensiest bit. I do want everything on the actual... Like, I'm willing to lose drop shadow, but I'd like us to not actually cut any of the textual bits. So, or of the bordery bits. So this is, even in some of the worst miscut, we will barely lose anything. Manage my drop shadows a bit. Yeah, probably good to keep my safe zones on while we're working. And then Satan, I probably need to pull that back a little this way and a little this way. And bring the tilt up, up, up. And bring this way, this way, this way. So, okay. In many ways, Satan is one of the hardest cards to lay out just because of got that tilt table on there. Actually, so given all of that, I think what I am going to do is pop back to this thing and reduce its tilt a little, because that'll let me bring those closer to each other, and the closer they are to each other, oops, hang on, whatever I just did, undo that. The closer they are to each other, the easier it's going to be for me to for the those even tiny bits of skew to be noticed, because two parallel lines that aren't actually parallel, yeah, like you can see the skew because they're right near each other. Okay. And I think what we've got now is a table filled with scraps of paper that form a fiasco game. So let's fit this back in the window. Let's undo fit in window. Let's go to 100 and yeah, 200%. That fits everything in that we care about. Turn back on my background. There's our table back in. Everything looks pretty reasonable. Yeah, we've actually lightened the table a bit just to make it fit better and not have quite as much contrast. All right, so here we go. What we're going to do now is we're going to do some exports. Step one. Oh, step one, we're going to save this file. Step one, we're going to File, Export, only from artboards into a PDF. Here we go. So this is my quick preview of what the cards are going to look like. Export to fiasco.pdf on my desktop. Yeah, I know it already exists. This is going to replace that. And now I'm going to take a quick look at what we've got and bring that up on screen. So here is Fiasco. All right, let's bring this up. Now, one of the things that we get here, and part of the reason why we are going to want to deal with these a little bit differently, is these things do need to be rotated once we've got them. So let's set up a preview. View, show me just one page at a time. Questionably Legal Man is, of course, the one that is oriented normally. Looks pretty good. Is that like a little, there's a little bit of a border right there. What am I seeing there? There's a tiny, tiny bit of border. I left the safe zones on, and it printed them. Okay, that's why we check these things. So we're going to turn that off. And now again, File, Export, do it again. Replace the existing file. And go find myself this thing. And File, revert, or we're just going to open recent fiasco. Here, close that. Then we will File, reopen that. And we'll see what we've got. Bringing it here. Come on. Come on up. All right, so now I'm still seeing that little bit of an edge there. That might actually be, oh wait, it's showing up everywhere. That might actually be something that the viewer is doing because it's showing up even where the curves appear. Okay, that might be preview. All right, page 2 needs to be rotated. Show me the rotate toolbar. Oh, oops. Show me the full tool. Yep, rotate again. All right, now Satan is in the correct orientation. And I think that card looks pretty good. And this is what they'll look like again with the ideal cut. So they'll look pretty similar to this. All right, here's Ashley. Rotate again. Looks pretty good. And definitely illegal boy. Needs to be rotated a few times, and now there we go. So yeah, these all look pretty good. I don't hate these. So what we're going to do now is we're going to export these again, but we're going to export them now instead of in the with these cut borders and things. We're going to export them with the full bleed, which is more than we expect will actually print in real life, but it's what we send to the printer so that they have some space to cut with. All right, so back to here. We hide this set of artboards. We show this set of artboards, changing to the big rectangular boards, and we do an export again. Now this time we're going to export these as pings. They don't need a transparent background anymore. We're going to export from artboards only. And yeah. Now actually, you know what? We're going to export these TIFF, bitmaps. I kind of want basically no compression. Ping should be fine for what we're doing. But we do not want 72 dpi of resolution. We want 300 dpi of resolution. So what is that going to get me? That will give me a size of 1120 by 820. So this is the same problem we had before. I'm going to go take a quick check at my Discord notes because I remember that 1120 was not the right size. Yeah, Iris, if you happen to remember, by the way, what the size is we need, let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to take a quick look to see if I can find it, because yeah, having the wrong size would be bad. The size for the cards. I remember that 1120 by 820 pixels is wrong. So we want to get it right. Okay. Here we go. Because I know that we definitely had a size we were looking at. There we are. 1122 by 822. So we are again 2 pixels off. So, all right, let's go ahead and confirm that. Oh yeah, you may have tossed the note, but you did have it in Discord, so I found it there. Here we go. So yeah, it's 11. We need 822 by 1122. So let's take a look at each of these. 820 by 1120, 820 by 1120, 1120 by 820. So we're going to cancel, and we are going to add the teensiest bit of size to these artboards. We'll unlock them. We'll lock everything else. And let's grab an artboard. Actually, let's grab all the artboards because they're all the same size. All right. So here we are. They are all 2 and 47/64 by 3 and 47/64. So what if we go to 48/64? 3 and 48/64. Huh, that takes them up to 3/4 exactly. How interesting. We're going to go ahead. We're going to redo that export now. Let's see what we get. Entire document, 300 dpi, artboards only. Show me the size. 1124 by 824 is bigger than the minimums, so we're good. Okay. We will now export that. Let's take a quick look. Yep, there. Those are the regions we want. We're going to export those. And we're going to export those as Fiasco in, let's hop on over to this project on my Google Drive. Oh, right, my drive. And it'll be under D for Desert Bus. All right. Fiasco cards within this folder. Do that. Save that. Good. Now, I'm going to give this one last save. We're going to close up the Fiasco file here. And we've got our card backs thing here. So now what we're going to do, so that these show up in our main file with everything else, is I'm going to take those files and I'm going to go open them up. Where is that directory? Open up my Finder. Go find the directory I'm looking for and then pull it up onto the screen we're sharing. Here we are, Fiasco cards. We've got Artboard, definitely Legal Boy, Questionable Legal Man. This one of these artboards didn't get renamed, it looks like. Oh well. So here we are, artboard.png. We're going to rotate that, and then we're going to save it. We're going to do, okay, no permanent version storage, that's fine. We got definitely a Legal Boy. We're going to rotate that a few times, and then we're going to save it. Oop. I know, no permanent version storage. Questionably Legal Man, I believe, will require no rotation. No rotation required. Great. And then Stan. Oh, maybe that isn't Stan. No rotate will require some double rotation. We're going to save that. Close that up. And now we're going to also just rename this one file. There we are. Now the Fiasco cards have been just render typeset, and we're going to go ahead and put them into things here. So we need to go find the numbers for those 4 characters. All right, and I believe they are sequential, but they aren't. All right, so first one here. We'll go ahead. We'll duplicate one of our templates here. Probably our easiest template, which is probably Savage Worlds. Duplicate canvas. Let's go with I'm just going to create a minimal template here because that'll be useful for us. Let's go ahead now, expand this open. We have the template areas. The text layer we're just going to blow away. We're going to, in fact, also blow away the aged paper layer. We're going to also get rid of the black border. All right, this is now just the minimal template. Lovely. We'll go ahead and put that up at the top. And we're going to duplicate that to get our 4 characters. We need 4, 5, Ashley. We are going to need 4, 7, Satan. Would you believe Satan? We're going to need questionably Legal Boy, definitely a Legal Man. There they are. 8 and 9. Fiasco, QLM, and duplicate canvas. 9. Fiasco. Dib. Definitely illegal boy. All right. And there we are. So now let's go ahead and place everybody. We got Ashley. We're going to do this. We're just going to take a look at this and add. Oh, we'll add a new layer by just. I think I just drag this on here. I'll get a new layer because it can't put it into any of the other layers. There we go. We just take this. We drag it right down into place. And that's ready to re-export when the time comes. We're going to do the same thing now with the other characters. We got Satan. We're going to put Satan in position on the card. So these ones are just being typeset here into this file as kind of nice little placeholders with their graphics that they can be typeset later. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, no, okay. I don't know if there's a weird like 1 pixel border that's happening there, but we'll probably be fine. Okay, actually, I think it's just snapping it to a slightly awkward location on the thing. It's, yeah, snapping it a little bit wrong. So, okay, there we are. And questionably legal man. And the nice thing is that edge of pixels that might have an issue is literally the outside border of the bleed. And if that becomes a problem, the cut has already gone incredibly bad. There's questionably legal man. And finally, definitely illegal boy. 100% absolutely certain. This boy, illegal. No legalities. And there we are. The fiasco cards are now here. Let's go ahead and put them into the sequence. Fiasco, 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 and fiasco. All right, so there's our fiasco cards, now in sequence. Okay, close that up. And let's just take a look here. Yep. So these are now rasterized, but they're rasterized at the same rasterization that we're going to be using for the real thing. So this should look fine. If it doesn't, I can always go grab the other files and we can just use the files we've dropped here and sub them in. I'm going to hang on to those files for obvious reasons. Oh, no, okay, that is cool. That little thing I saw that looked like a glitch is actually in the original image because that's it just barely getting the tiniest bit of text from something else. Okay, back on over to our template. We've now done the Fiasco characters, but we skipped over one character on the way to Fiasco, the West Country Doctor. So we need to find out what a Doctor Who character sheet looks like. And Iris, do you happen to recall what edition of Doctor Who you used? Because there have been a number of Doctor Who RPGs over the years. If we know anything about what the name of the system was, because in the meantime, I think one of the things we're very likely to want is that Doctor Who font, because there's a pretty distinctive set of Doctor Who fonts. Like, yeah. Oh, that's one of the old Doctor Who fonts. Let's see. This actually looks like it might be, yeah, the traits, skills, attributes. Let me see what we've got there. Yeah, traits, attributes, skills, traits. So I think this is probably the one we've got. Oh, so this is Doctor Who Adventures in Time and Space. Okay. I am pretty sure that's the system we've got. So let's take a look at that. And let's maybe... Here we are. Doctor Who Adventures in Time and Space, printer-friendly character sheets. Okay. So let's see. So they've got these bits of Anglish warble. They've got some skills that might be there. They've got some attributes. The game may use sort of dots to represent things a little, it looks like. Let's see, is that an official character sheet or is that a informal? So it looks like the official character sheets are just not really printer friendly. So they have these very fancy. Oh, all of these are official character sheets. Maybe because this does remind me of the typesetting of the game, but all right, I think it's time to do something here. We need Doctor Who: Adventures in Time and Space. I need to see what this game looks like typesetting wise. It's the it's the recent Doctor Who role playing game from Cubicle 7. All right, that's the only image there. Um, no. Okay. Let's see. So there's the drive through RPG page, which might give me, I'm able to see a few more pages in the preview of this. So, hmm, let's see. Yeah, there have been a lot of various things produced. This is the $0. Is this the quick start? No, the 11th Doctor Edition upgrade pack. New character sheet. Okay. So this is free and has a new character sheet that basically updating it from the previous edition. So we can take a look at that, and I think we can use that to try to get a sense of what we've got here. Let's grab that free checkout. Confirm order. All right, let's go ahead and grab that 11th Doctor Edition character sheet. And let's see what we just got. Here it is. Okay, so here we go. So we've got this story points thing. We've got the kind of formal Doctor Who typography there. We've got this. They've got the sort of circular Gallifreyan loop-de bits there. The game's mechanisms, etc. All right, so yeah, this will get me what I need to do. Let's go grab one of our minimal templates. Duplicate canvas. Doctor Who, and Doctor Who West Country. All right, so we have our thing for the West Country Doctor here. Now let's go ahead and make sense of it. So we've got some content, we've got some stuff, and Adventures in Time and Space is the old name of the system. Okay, cool, that's fine. Um, all right. So what I think one of the things we're going to need is I need to get some Doctor Who typography. Doctor Who typeface. The title card. Thank you, shows with deep fandoms. You are so nice to work with here. 11th Doctor, title cap font is SF movie poster. Okay. Asylum of the Titan. Font is contacts bold small caps with a mottled effect. This is many title cards, and we now know, yeah, what fonts are being used at various times here. Post Antiqua. Okay, let's see. This is a little bit too narrow to see how it's laid out. Okay, these are title cards. They're using Futura book. Here, yeah, miscellaneous 11th Doctor. They start using SF movie poster and contacts bold small caps for the title and writer further down. I see. All right. Miscellaneous. So a lot of, so yeah, that very narrow type, but this is episode things. Can I see anything further up? These are title cards. What I kind of want here is the Doctor Who logo font. So let's see. Dedicated fan identifies every Doctor Who typeface. Okay. And what's the Doctor Who logo typeface? That's the other thing I'm looking for here. The Doctor Who logo. There's a page on that on the Doctor Who wiki. Cool. Let's see what we've got. All right. Times New Roman in there. Doctor Who. Okay, so this logo here. Yeah, the enlargement of Who as opposed to Doctor. Right. Do we know anything about the type in that logo? Not really. That's the here from the 70s. Here we are, the diamond logo. The 80s logo. The late 80s logo, which is very late 80s. The TV movie went back to the 70s logo, and then we end up over here. Series one, the later stuff. This is the new horizontal logoing. And then we get, right, so this is where we get the Doctor Who with the DW icon. Okay. Then we've got this different, right? They play with its texture a bit, but it looks like the typography on this has started to get pretty solid. And now series 11, there's a new version of the logo that is very different. Okay, cool. I think I am probably going to get the most recognition factor out of the typography from the DW variant of the logo here. That W is very clear. So, and particularly because we know we're going to need a W in the name. So let me see what we can do with this. Let's see. Do we know anything about the typography of this logo? Not necessarily. Well, got a dedicated fan who's identified every Doctor Who typeface. Dun, 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 dun. Typefaces of Doctor Who. This is a GIF. And Clayton Hickton, former editor of Doctor Who magazine, and the designer of the DVD cover art. Yep. Of course, what I'd like to find is where did he put this stuff? See more? No, that's a big old tweet. The title typefaces of, okay. The title typefaces of Doctor Who 1963 to 2017. In a tweet as an image, but we can watch this GIF and then see how the labeling does. I don't think I need any sound on this, so let's see what we've got. Come on. Right, Grotesque 1-3. Eurosteel condensed, Futura bold, Futura extra bold, Delarobiev. What they've used in the titles. These are the title typefaces. I really want the logo form typefaces. Do we have anything on the logo typefaces? Maybe not. Oh, but yeah, the Post Antiqua Futura book, SF Movie Poster Condensed, Contacts Pro, Heroic Condensed Bold. Okay. Why do we not have? Oh, here we are. The things from the titles: Eurosteel, Grotesque 1-7, Bold, Helvetica Bold. Okay. Doctor Who logo font 2018. Oh, nope, that's the 2018 is the newer logo. I think I'd like Doctor Who logo font 2016. The weird stuff I Google while working through this. Yeah, here we go. I want like this variant of the logo here, the 2012 logo or the 2014 logo. Yep. Yeah, I mean, these are basically the same shapes. Yeah, this is not going to be a typeface at all, but the 2018 logo is based on a customized version of Gotham. Um, do we know anything about the type used on these? Yep. All right. Yep. Thank you, logo type people. Why does nobody ever talk about the typefaces used in logos? The lettering used in the title card of the TV show is very similar to a font called Doctor Who. Yeah. Well, let me see what it says. Yeah, somebody created a font to match the lettering. Okay. Let's see. We get free for personal use, James Easton, etc. Um, all right, let's see what happens if we go with this and see what we get here. Yeah, who knew? It looks similar to a font that is literally somebody trying to clone the design from the show. Spoilers, sometimes these sites get the causality wrong on their typography things. All right. There's our thing. Let's go ahead and read. Oh, cool. Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike. Okay, great. So this is not actually a non-commercial license. We are totally fine. I just need to make sure it's attributed somewhere. We will have to do some attribution in general on this project, and that's fine. All right. So now we can just go ahead and there's our Doctor Who regular. And now, having done that, let's get ourselves a West Country Doctor. Now, looking at kind of the style of the Doctor Who character sheet, they've got that very backward, yeah, very spacey thing going on. I've got some ideas how to achieve that. Let's grab some text. And that is not the typeface. We'll be keeping that in, but you know. Magnolia, all fonts. Where's my Doctor Who? There it is. Doctor Who, the West Country Doctor. 13. I don't hate that. I do not hate that at all. I can work with this. So let's go ahead and fit that to my window. Now, I think one of the things I am seeing here is they've got some notable gradienting and things through that. It feels like to use this, I do probably want to do just a little bit of manipulation to it, but we don't need that just yet. Let's go ahead and jump back to our template. Let's get this character in place. So we got some attributes, we got some skills. Is it the, yeah, that's basically the full set of skills. Okay. All right. So then we got some traits and a quote. All right. It is a very Who font, yes. So what we want to do, yeah, and I don't know that I agree with all the decisions that were made, particularly that Y I do not adore. But yeah, this is very much a font designed by an amateur who cloned the letters that were clonable, but did not exactly always have the greatest design sense on everything else. But you know what? I'm okay with that. It's going to achieve what we need. Okay, so we got this, and that's in a nice sort of serify thing there. Okay, let's go ahead and generate some blorby shapes. And these are all, they a lot of all caps, a lot of that nice heavy something there. So let's, all right, let's go ahead and look for the type we're going to need. All fonts. Actually, let's go ahead and pop open font book because it's faster to scroll through stuff in font book than it is to do it elsewhere. So what we want to find here is we're looking for something that is kind of blocky, and well, we're looking for something that kind of matches this feel. That blocky, that particularly those C's are going to really carry the feel. So that should help me find what I'm looking for. Like audio wide is actually not bad, but it's wide and we need narrow. Um, let's see. Mm-hmm. Comic career. Some of my fonts are actually fairly large because they are weird decorative things that when you pass over them generate a whole bunch of lag. At some point I should organize my type collection into tools that we have here. Okay. Gargantua. Oh, looks like we're hitting something else. Big and slow. Come on. I know you can do it. Computer. There you are. Oh, right. Yeah, GistX is a weird font. It's a little expensive to run, it seems like, because, yeah. I think because it is super variable weight. Right, there's Hitchcock, Homemade Apple, Kingdom Hearts, Content. Oh, look at League Gothic here. It's not right, but it isn't wrong. I'd like something. Okay, this has given me a sense of what I'm looking for. League Gothic is not a bad option, which means we might want to look at some of my other Gothics. But this font, by the way, I cannot use because I do not have a license to use it for anything other than previewing. But I love it. This is also would be pretty good for some Doctor Who stuff, but can't use it professionally. So haven't yet gotten myself a license to it. Oswald is pretty good, but you know, I'm looking for kind of a condensed Gothic here. Overlock, Overpass, Pantarule, Passion. Reggie, Righteous. Rodchenko's also pretty intense. It's wrong, but I want the project is right for. That'll be fun. Space Grotesque is, yeah. Structure. Huh. I mean, I like Structura, except it's W. I do not like its W at all. But, its 4 is also a bit problematic. I mean, we're not going to use it here, but the Noya Black. It's a little expanded, but this is quite on what we've been looking for here. Right? Treadway. Rubel. Work. Okay. Do I have a condensed form of work sans? Medium. None of you look. Nope. I do not have anything condensed. All right. Let me take a look and see. Time to go to Google Fonts. Because what I'm really looking for is a condensed Gothic. Let's see what we can find. I think that was a Gothic. Let me double check again. We were back up. Where's the one I was looking at here? I'd found something. Was it, yeah, League Gothic here? Yes. Like, League Gothic is about as close as I've gotten. Let me see what happens if I search for Gothic. That's getting me a lot of the traits I need. Now, what I want to see here is I'd like to find font properties, width, bring it narrower. I see. So, yeah, the exact way they define width is a little bit hard to make sense of. Okay, you know what? We're just going to use League Gothic. I'm just going to double check again. I don't remember how I got League Gothic, so... Oh, I think it is a Google font, so let me see. Yeah. League Gothic, clear filters. League Gothic. League. I can type League, really. All right. It's not one of... League Gothic. What have... Okay, it is open source. It's by the League of Movable Type. Okay. It is in fact open, yeah, available via open source license. So, yeah, the League of Movable Type. And I visited this page before. I got it directly from them. So, let's see, yeah. Decided to make our own version and contribute it to the open source type movement. All right. Here we go. So we're going to use League Gothic for this. I've already got it, and that's helpful. Yeah. All right. Yeah, probably the biggest difference is whatever type they're using has that, yeah, this is probably a bespoke face because it has that funky W and things. So, okay. Let's jump back over to here. Don't need that because I actually have the thing downloaded. All right. Awareness. Let's look at our League Gothic regular. Hang on. Excuse me. Select regular. Oh, okay. Condensed is pretty good, but kind of tight. I think we want regular. Actually, I think what I might want to do is condensed, but then too much. Open up the spacing just a little. No. Nope. Regular. Leave the spacing alone. I said alone. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now let's just build kind of one of these things. So again, this system likes to use dots. So I think we can possibly copy our sort of mage style. Though, no, we'll probably get better spacing out of it, or better kind of size management if we don't try to do that. So let's just put that off the side there so I can look at it. Awareness. Actually, you know what? We're going to manage the spacing by putting these all into one text area. That'll make some parts of life easier. Awareness. Come on. And this needs to be left justified. Everything in here needs to be left justified like that. Awareness, coordination, ingenuity, presence, resolve, strength. Oh, and these dots actually might be used during play. These might be where the numbers go. So yeah. All right. We've got that. Then on the other, we have the skills, which are sort of arranged like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and do 2 columns here. Athletics. Convince. Craft. Fighting. Knowledge. Marksman. Medicine. Excuse me. Science. Subterfuge. Survival. Technology. And transport. Okay. So we've got some stats. We've got some skills. And what I think I'm going to do here, we've got these attributes. So let's go ahead now. We're going to paste again here. I just want to get the word attributes. And we're also going to want, I copy this, attributes and skills. Okay, so we'll take a moment here. Now, what I'd like to see here is if there's any kind of a color guide or anything for the West Country Doctor. I think I know what I want. I need to find myself a field. So unsplash.com. Come on. Come on. British field. Results for British field. I need some. None of these are boring enough to be a British field. Field. A lot of photos. Let's see what we've got. I need. Yep. Yep. We're going to grab this. We're going to go ahead and download that. We're going to do something. We're going to do something dumb, and I think it'll be fun. We're going to take that image we just grabbed. We're going to go ahead. That is, there it is. We're going to drag that up and into place and just put this here. And of course, it's enormous. That's fine. We're going to resize it so it's 4 inches wide. Yep. Because the Doctor Who character sheet has kind of this full bleed background. And what I'm just going to do here is we're going to take this. We're going to take our West Country Doctor. We're going to take this layer. Turn this into a new layer. We're going to move it to the back so it's under everything. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make this whole thing, 3 inches tall. Yep. Yep. Oh, that's not quite what we need here. We're going to make this whole thing. We're going to do this with it. And it's okay that this doesn't come all the way up to the top of the card because we're going to do something else in a second here. We're going to mess with this sky. But there we are. We now have a big, boring field behind everything. Then what I'm going to need now is we're going to add another layer here. We're going to drop a rectangle. I'm just going to go ahead and hide all the card material for a moment because we're just going to work on the background for a second here. I'm going to take this rectangle. We're going to end it right about here. And we're going to give this thing a fill. No, not a shape. We're going to give it a fill. Fill is going to be a linear gradient. It's going to start at black. It's going to end at black but transparent. And we're going to take this and we're going to use this to kind of wash out. We're going to need no stroke at all. We've just got this, and now we're going to use this to kind of wash out a chunk of the image as we rise into the sky here. And in order to not have things feel too much like a gradient, I mean, it's going to feel like a gradient, but what we're going to do, we're going to take this thing and extend it this way because we're going to slap it on here at a bit of an angle. Doesn't need a ton. Just is going to help us. Yep, there we go. Now we're going to take this and we're going to pull it up like this. We're going to then, now what we just need, we're going to take another rectangle. We're going to drop it like so. We're going to fill it in black. We're going to again spin it. So that it is basically covering over the stuff we cared about there. So we're getting rid of a lot of the sky. We're going to take this, we're going to pop it up so that it kind of meets the other black and becomes, so as the gradient black pulls up into black, we get full black going into there, and then just going to scooch it up since it becomes full black right at the edge. Need to rotate that a little bit further. This one also 353. Yes. Okay, now they match. Good. And we'll just pull that along that way. Good. Scooch in here, make sure there isn't any weird bounding spot where pixels show through. Good. Okay, so now we are fading out our sky as we come up from it. And then the last thing we need, we're going to go back to Unsplash, and I need space. And we're just going to take a moment here, look at some space for something that feels, yep. We're going to grab this. We're going to download this. We're going to take this image right here, show in Finder. I'm going to grab this image and we're going to put it into place as well. Now, this image is entirely too big. You need to be like, you don't need to be 56th and an 1/8 inches. You need to be like 3 inches wide. Thank you. Even that's too big. 2 inches wide. Great. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take this. We are going to spin it about, I think 270 is what, yep, 270 is about what I need. And we're going to take it a little bit further, because what we're going to do is I want to put that thing like right about there, just like that. Happy little stars. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down a bit more. I thought you might like this. Good to see you, Keat. So yeah, what we're doing, we're working on actually a character sheet for a Doctor Who character, and since the character sheet there has this black background with a bit of a star field, I was like, you know what? And since this is the West Country Doctor, who is, also sort of coming from farming country, actually, let me see if I pull that a little. God, I wish that banding was just a bit less terrible. Yeah, we're just gonna have to do it like that. So here we go. Okay. So what I want to do, we're going to take this thing over a little because it needs to be, I want that nebula appearing under stuff right in the corner of the card. All right, so there we go. We've got that. We got that. Now let's get back to actually typesetting the card proper. So we've just built ourselves a nice little composite background and we kind of pop in on it. Looks pretty good, kind of starry, and then fades down toward the earth. And we're not going to see this cloud, I hope, because that's going to be actually, that would be a bit of a pain if we did. I want the sky to be a little bit more just uniform blue. Actually, you know what? We're going to take these three things. We're going to move them to a new layer. Just going to pop those right up over our sky. And now let's go in. We're going to mess with the sky here because this will make my life easier. So what we're just going to do here is I'm going to take, again, going to throw down a quick rectangle like this. We're going to give it a fill. It's going to be a gradient fill. We're going to have the top of that gradient be, let's go ahead and grab my color selector, grab my eyedropper. We're going to just pull from there. And then we're going to have the bottom of the gradient be, again, just go grab the eyedropper. We're going to grab like kind of there. All right, now what we can do, we're going to get rid of the stroke on this. And now this is going to work because we mostly don't see it. And we're just going to take this, we're going to bring it, pull it all the way across. Now, this is a bit unnatural looking. So what we need to do is make it a little less unnatural. We're going to first change the blend mode so that we're going to, I believe, I think I just want to be darken only. Maybe not. Maybe that does, I mean, that's getting some of what I want. It's knocking out a lot of the cloud, but yeah, let's just take a look. If we get rid of this object, okay. Yeah, darken only, actually the darken only works reasonably. I think the other thing I kind of want to do is have the edges of this not quite be so, I wish I could feather the edge on this a bit. But that's not really a tool at my disposal, because semi-transparent shapes are not really a thing that we have access to in this tool, which again, we are abusing far beyond its intended capacity. But let's just turn this back on for a second. Okay, that is looking better. Like, we don't need to worry about what this does at the top, right? Because we only care about kind of taking this cloud out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing again. We're going to copy it. We're going to paste a copy of it into the image, and we're going to grab that copy, and we're just going to take this, and I want to take this, we're just going to cover up kind of the most egregious bit here of the middle. What I want to do is not really hurt the texturing too much, and we're going to be able to play with this because some of these regions we're going to actually be covering over entirely with other things. So now what we're just going to do, we're going to turn off the darken. We're going to change the colors of our gradient again. Yeah, using software in unintended ways is like 100% me with OmniGraffle. I have basically been using, this is, I mean, as I tell people sometimes, this is basically like a Visio competitor. And I have been using it to accomplish things that it was never meant to accomplish, because it does, because it's for the Mac and people in the Mac ecosystem like things pretty. It has a very good typographic engine. Okay, so yeah, we've got this. Now what I just want to do here is I want to say we're going to turn on some blur, which we're going to blur by like 30 pixels what's beneath. And then we're also going to turn the entire opacity of this thing down just a little. We're going to give it like a 50% opacity at both ends. And now if we just do this, we click away. All right, so those hard borders are going to need to end up being under text areas, but now we have a fairly unremarkable blue sky fading up into space, which is kind of what we want. So, Keat, this is not necessarily a great time to make the switch to Mac stuff. Mac has been increasingly turning into a walled garden. I've actually been thinking about making the switch in the other direction. So we should talk, because yeah, the fact that, for example, I can't get Inkscape to run on my Mac right now because there's no signed Inkscape build at the moment, and that doesn't make me happy. I've had to pop over to my Windows machine just to use Inkscape a couple times in this project. The impression I get is that Apple sees what they've been getting out of the iOS ecosystem, and they're like, could we get that for everything? We like this control. It's very nice. Yeah. Yeah, like, and it's not going to be permanently not happening. It's just that the Inkscape team does not currently have somebody capable of building the signed builds that they would need to run on the iOS platform, but or to run on the Mac OS platform. But that's still like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel great about it. All right, so here we go. Turn this all. So this is just a little too sharp here still because it's coming down over the wrong part of that. So I think what I probably want to do is take this rectangle and this rectangle. We're just going to grab these and bring them further down because I want to darken further into stuff. I really want to try to take that. I want to make the sky darken into space fairly rapidly with no distinctive lines. There we go. And yeah, that gradient is just sketching the edge there, and I don't think it's noticeable. Okay, so there we go. Now we have our background for the Doctor Who card. Back to here, back to here. Lock down our background. Actually, we can merge layer down and background. Now we can lock our background up. Yeah, I also have a decent bit of obscure software. Part of the programmer thing, I guess. All right, we'll show this. So this text is all currently in. Yeah, that text is all currently in black. Let's go ahead and take all this text and just take a moment and put it into literally any other color. Oh, it's currently locked as well. Let's unlock the text. And now let's put this text into, I don't know, let's put this text into like a gray. It's going to be actually black on white or dark blue on white or something. But actually, I should also probably say, why did I just go through and do this whole background? The reason is because this character sheet feels like it absolutely needs to have its text be in color, but I didn't know what those colors would be until I saw what my background was. And now I know because one of the things about the Doctor Who RPG is they change their color scheme with every new Doctor. So, and since this is for a Doctor that is fictional, I mean, they're all fictional, but this is a Doctor that was never a Doctor. So, here we go. So they like to put their content in these little sort of blorpy, these blorpy shapes. So these look like they are basically rounded rects, and then we take divots out of them to put labels in. We can do that. So let's build ourselves a quick rectangle. Actually, we're going to go ahead and lock this layer down again. New layer. We're going to stick this layer underneath. And we're going to build ourselves. This will be our rectangle. So, have you seen the West Country Doctor bits, by the way, Keith? I don't know if you're familiar with Loading Ready Run. That's this whole project is sort of inspired. Everything in this project is inspired by the folks behind Loading Ready Run and Desert Bus for Hope, and so we're riffing on a lot of their bits. Oh, thanks, Iris. Welcome back. You know, sometimes you just gotta do a thing. Sometimes you just gotta do a thing. All right. So what I want to do here, I'm gonna take
I
the fill
believe
on the.
the way you're supposed to say that is do what you got to do.
Oh right, that would be yeah the James approach. Do what you got to do. Yeah, I am. I would I would say I'm a huge fan of Loading Ready Run at this point because I don't know, watching their stuff has gotten me through a lot of pandemic stuck in one place. Oh, Corpline and Panelists are both fabulous. So the West Country Doctor is was a bit. It was basically an Andrew Cowden bit. Andrew is kind of a second order member of Lure. He was involved in the early days. He's now actually a successful actor in that area, and so but he comes back and does the some of these very. He likes to do over the top scenery chewing characters for Lure. Um, Five. Let's do a 6 point. There we go. Yeah, 6 point bend there. Oop, don't do that. All right, relock that. So now we can take these rectangles. I'm going to just grab this. Going to grab another one. Oh yeah, he does. He definitely does some great desert bus call-ins. So yeah, what I'm doing here. So he played this character, the West Country Doctor, which is basically what if Doctor Who were from one of the rural parts of Great Britain. I'm not entirely sure what West Country this is, but you know, he's very yeah, they're very something. There's that playlist that Carrie just posted, and of course, you know we've made a mini of it and done all of this. So now we've also got some traits. He's got his adversary, the Durlix, because of course he does. Um, now, all right, yeah, these are. There's this whole project has been like a rabbit hole of very silly jokes. So, okay, we've got the West Country Doctor. Now, I think what I want to do here, we've got the titling like this. All right, that's locked there still. That's fine. We're also going to need some traits. Yes, go enjoy, watch that, and we'll see you when you're back. Um, all right, there's traits, there's stuff. Okay. So what I now want to do is for these, we kind of they pretty uniformly divot in like that. So I think it's time to fit a grid to this because that'll make my life easier. So onto grids. Major grid spacing. Let me show my grid lines. We'll start there. Okay. What is the width of my canvas? My canvas is 2 and 53/70 seconds. Let me turn that to, yeah, 2 and 3 quarters. Let's do that. 2 3/4 by 3 and 3/4. Good. So now we're going to make my major grid spacing 1/4 inch, and then we're going to set my minor grid spacing to be 4. Actually, if we look at where my safety margins are, hang on, let's just do an origin at I don't know, 0, and then another origin at 0. Good, good. This is a grid that I like. This grid makes sense to me. And this grid, if we go to 1/8 inch here, this grid now actually almost perfectly defines where our safe cut lines are. And to the extent that it doesn't, I suspect it's because my safe cut lines are slightly off from the canvas. So I probably want to scooch that. Okay,